Hey guys, Mr. Zigner here. We're taking a look at editing a Google Doc. Why don't we get started? So I created this basic document here, and I just want to walk you through a bunch of the editing tools for it. It'd be interesting to know if you learned any new tricks. Here we go. So one thing you can do is click up here in the top left corner, and you can see I can actually change the name of the document right here. So maybe I want to just say Mr. Z's Google Doc. I just enter, and now the document has been renamed. Next, why don't we go up here and show you the page layout. So you click on File, scroll all the way down near the bottom, right above Print, and there's Page Setup. It's pretty well hidden. Not many people know about page setup down at the bottom of File. So you can choose between Portrait and Landscape. Portrait means the document is taller than it is wide, kind of like a sheet of paper a teacher might hand you. Landscape is just the opposite, more like your computer monitor or a TV where it's wider than it is tall. Another thing we might change is the background color. How about a nice kind of a teal color there? So we can change the entire background of the document. Now watch how the document changes when I hit OK. And there we go. So another nice thing, I'm going to highlight this quote and let's change the alignment, the spacing, and maybe even the font here. So choose a new font. How about this Ultra? Looks good. Oh yes, very bold and dark, thick lines there. We could realign it. Now further down the toolbar here we have left align, center, right align. I'm just going to center this so it's right in the middle of the whole page. Looks good. Although with this font I chose, it seems a little squished. So I'm going to use the right next to the alignment is with this arrow pointing up and down. This is the line spacing. And what that does for you is it pulls the text apart, these different lines. So again, take a look at how squished they look now, and let's maybe kick that up to 1.5. See how the lines became further apart? That looks nice. All right, so our next editing that I want to do, I created this link here. I'm going to highlight it. And you can turn that into a clickable link for someone who has your document open. Again, we're in the toolbar. Come right here, the thing that looks like a chain. And you can see there's also a keyboard shortcut, Control K. I'm just going to click on it. Now I come back down to the document. If I click on that, you can see, yep, there's now a clickable link to go right to that trailer. I'm not going to do that right now, though. We can highlight. Let's see, what could I highlight? Maybe we'll highlight where it says details about the Hobbit. So I'm going to come right here. I can choose what color I want to use to highlight it. Maybe this bright yellow. Just sort of highlight the thing I want to highlight the thing I want to highlight. Oh my goodness. And then we click here, the highlight color, and then I choose my yellow. There we go. Got it right that time. Okay. Let's see here. How about we look at inserting an image? So since this is about the Hobbit, I thought it'd be interesting to actually insert a picture from there. So we click on Insert, go to Image. Now I'm going to actually search the web, and what's neat is you actually get a little sidebar here that can actually search for images for you. So let's see here, the Hobbit. Great. Now let's see here, would be a nice little image to throw into my document here. All kinds of things going on. Let's see, now that's actually a movie, but let's see if I can still drag that in. Way too big. So I'm going to click in the corner here, drag it down. There we go. Now notice it keeps wanting to line up next to my text. This middle button, wrap text, well, that's going to allow me to move it to wherever I want. There we go. A little more freedom about where I want it. Okay, that looks great. Now we've inserted an image. Another thing, I don't know if you noticed this, but I actually spelled the word Hobbit incorrectly a few times here. Down here, Hobbit is spelled wrong in these different details about the movie, and even in the quote. So, what we want to do now is actually do a find and replace, and that's under edit. So, we come to edit, find and replace, and so I incorrectly spelled it with one B. The correct spelling is with two. So, I want to find all the times I spelled it incorrectly, and I want to replace it with the right one. That's great if you've typed that word incorrectly many times. So instead of scanning through your document and looking one at a time, you can actually have them all change at the same time. All right, let's hit. I could do them one at a time, but let's just do all of them. It looks like it's found 6 instances of that. Hit replace all, close my find and replace, and yeah, there we go. Now the Hobbit is spelled correctly. All the instances down here, everything's spelled correctly for the word The Hobbit now. All right. Next thing I'd love to show you is how to create a bulleted list. I'm just going to come right here. I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different facts about Lord of the Rings. And then we come up to our toolbar. Now there's a numbered list. I could click that down arrow, maybe have them numbered, but they're not really in any sort of order. So I might come to the bulleted list instead. And here we have a bunch of choices. Let's see here, kind of like this pointer right here. Looks great. I like it. All right, so there's bulleted lists. Paint format's an interesting tool, and as soon as I learned about it, I really like using it, especially when I want to format a bunch of specific things. So one thought, I'm going to change, I'm going to follow my directions here and type my name. Let's have a little bit of fun editing it. Might make that a different font, a permanent marker, make it a little bit bigger. Maybe 12 is enough. Maybe even make it bold and italics and underline. Maybe even change what color it is. Yeah, I'm going crazy here. Make it bright blue. There we go. Okay, so I'm happy with that. Well, not really, but I'm happy with that to show you this next tool. So now what we need to do, I'm going to highlight all the changes I made. So first thing to do is get what you want the document to look like, or what you want that text to look like, exactly like you like it. Then you highlight it. Now we come up to the toolbar, and right here it looks like a paint roller. So that's our paint format button. And here's what's great. Now I can just run around and just change things. So maybe I specifically want the street address to be that same thing. So I'm going to highlight that, and then I let go, and see, it matched exactly. Maybe I don't want the city and state, but I do want the phone number of the school to look the same. Okay. Oh, sorry. I have to go back here, highlight that, hit my paint format, highlight the new thing, and let go. All right. So there you go. That's the paint format. Really interesting tool if you want to make broad changes to several different spots in your document, and you want it to match up with all the editing that you did. Another neat thing is a dictionary. And so the dictionary is right here under Tools. Come down, click on Dictionary. So I'm thinking like 6 total movies. I'd like maybe a different word for that instead of movies. Maybe search the dictionary on the word movies and see if there's some other synonyms for movies. Okay, so movie. And so I could use the word film or picture, a feature. So there's several different choices. So, I like the word film. That sounds a little more fancy. So instead of 6 total movies, I could say 6 total films. There we go. So there's a dictionary built in that might help you find other words that might sound better in your document. Final thing I'd like to leave you with is one of my favorites. And again, this is not a complete list of things you can do. There's a whole lot more you can do with Google Docs, but I thought this was a great way to finish up. So we come to Tools again, voice typing. Now, this is pretty cool. So make sure you've clicked exactly where you want to add text. And now this, instead of typing, would allow you to insert text by using voice. Let me give it a try here and see what we can get. So now we are adding text by using our voice instead of having to type. Period. Turn that back off. Did it get it all? So now we are adding text by using our voice instead of having to type with the period. Pretty darn cool. Hey, well, I hope this helped you learn maybe at least a couple new tricks. For my students, these are the edits I want you to do for your document before you turn it in. And thanks for joining me. All right, take care, guys. We'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.